What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Yeti Express DFS podcast presented to you today by Draft Dashboard. Remember, you can use all the tools that I'm going to be using in this video by clicking in the link in the description below. But before we get started, please comment, like, and subscribe on this video. Let's try and get this channel get going here a little bit. Let's start off in the position optimizer. One thing I will say about this video is this is probably going to be the last one where James Harden is on an island by himself without Chris Paul. Chris Paul is likely to return on Sunday, I believe I read. So let's start out in point guard. Let's go over the draft, the dash rank here. D'Angelo Russell, we'll throw him in our watch list. He's got 100 dash rank. Opponent's defense is 29th, and against the position they are 21 against Brooklyn. Levine, we'll throw in there. This is a pretty big slate. It's 10 games, so make sure you have a pretty big player pool. You're going to need it all. One thing I will say is DraftKings has a, I play in the 20 max entry for $1. They have that same tournament run for $4. If you want to get kind of interesting today, you can play in both of them if you really like your 20 lineups. Something to kind of go over. Trier is going to be watched by quite a few people today after his 51-point outing. But I'm not really that interested in him today. I'm just throwing him in there because we had him last time and he smashed value. Jamal Murray had a huge game last time out against the Suns. I think he had like 46 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists or something like that. So keep an eye out on him. This guy, again, Chris Paul, I just went over him. He's going to be coming back soon. We'll see if he makes it out today, but I think he's listed as probable, so he's real close to be coming back. Timberwolves news, very interesting. If both Teagan Rose miss, Jared Bayless becomes super interesting as far as news goes. But other than that, Napier looks good because I believe that Dinwiddie is questionable. If Dinwiddie were to miss, which I think he actually might, then Napier becomes super interesting at a $3,600 price point. One of the biggest questions you have to ask yourself today is who is more important for your stars. You have Jokic and Giannis within $100 today. So that's an important question for me. I think it's going to be Giannis, but we'll see. We'll throw a Harden in the watch list here. I don't expect to get him. I don't really want him, but when dude's doing what he's doing, you gotta consider it. Shooting guard, I don't really think there's a whole lot we're gonna add here. Remember, guys, when I set this player pool, it is 6:30 Central Time, so there's not a whole lot of injury news out yet. And one of the most important things you can do is set yourself a time frame to look back at injury news at like 5:30, and make sure you get that most interesting stuff out of your injury news. We'll throw Bayless in here. We're going to be playing in the single entry, the $12 single entry on DraftKings, and we are also going to be playing 20 entries into the $1 20 max entry contest. I believe it's called the And One. That's probably my favorite contest. We had a slight loss yesterday, but we're starting to really boost our channel, which is more important to us. So we're going to be playing every single day until we rock out this channel and get her banging out here. Small forward. Like I said earlier in the video, I really like Giannis. I think he's going to go underlooked tonight. I like him more than I like Jokic. I'm sure I'll have a little bit of both. Ariza's really been playing well lately. He's in a decent matchup, as you can look at some of his scores here. We're gonna go over his dashboard real quick here. He's healthy. He's got an away game, so that's why he's got a red circle. Pace is a pace up spot for him. And he played 36 minutes yesterday, so it's a back-to-back. Last 5 games versus Orlando, he's got a 23, a 0, a 22, a 40, and a 25. If you just using him as an example. Damari Carroll in here. My player pool is going to change quite a bit throughout the day, depending on what kind of injury news that we end up hearing about. Remember, by clicking in the link in the description below, you can try Draft Dashboard 30 days for $1. When doing that, you will also get access to my custom player pool, which, if you had it yesterday, helped you out quite a bit. We had Oubre in there, we had Westbrook in there, we had George in there. I was kind of high on Kevin Durant yesterday. He hurt us a little bit, but we also had Draymond Green, we had Okafor, we had a lot of the good plays that were in there would have helped you out. And then 2 days ago, we had a $150 profit. So some good stuff coming from the Yeti Express DFS tab. You can click the Watch Players tab, and you'll get access to my custom player pool and see all my players in the Watched Players tab. Alrighty, let's finish her off here. We are going on over to, just kidding, we're going to power forward. Power forward again. Giannis is probably my favorite stud on the slate. Blake Griffin we like. A little bit less today than we have all week because I expect Drummond to be back. Portis, still kind of like him. His price is hovering, hopping and hanging. And the system continues to love Jabari Parker. If he gets some minutes, man, he's gonna crush this price. But one thing you got to keep an eye out on. Alrighty, this is a 10-game slate. There's gonna be quite a bit of people at each position. So I'm going to keep my player pool. It's going to change quite a bit throughout the day, so make sure you keep an eye on that. But let's add Jokic in here. Let's add Towns in here. Let's add Vucevic in here. Alrighty, so we got 17 players in our player pool. Let's go into the lineup optimizer on DraftKings. We'll make one lineup on DraftKings, and then we'll throw it into the optimizer as well. Just play around with it, show you the tools quick. So, lineup optimizer, DraftKings. I'll tell you what, right now I'm going to go get Giannis because he's my favorite play on this slate. We'll get off of somebody like Mitchell, go out and grab Napier, assuming that Dinwiddie's going to miss. But it's one thing you got to check on, guys. Make sure you know all the injury news that you need to know. I can't stress that enough. Make sure you play around with these position optimizer. Like I said, I say this every day at this time in the video. I'm probably not entering this lineup until I find out some more injury news. And once injury news opens up, you might find yourself a guy like somebody like Jared Bayless might open up some super value. And you can go and plug in a guy like Kelly Oubre. And then you can go and get yourself a guy like, let's say you wanted to upgrade Bobby Portis, you could go get somebody like Serge Ibaka or, whoever you wanted to fit in here. Another cool thing that I haven't talked about yet on this YouTube channel is locking a player. So say I loved D'Angelo Russell, which I do. I could lock him in. Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's going to be my best chance at saying that. You can lock him in. And then, so you say those are the two guys you want. You can randomize it. And it's going to keep those guys locked in there for you. Unless I hit Jabari. Oh, I must not locked in Giannis. So let's go over to FanDuel. Again, remember that these sites are very different. One thing I will stress quite a bit on FanDuel is you have the ability to drop a player. So you are going to want a guy like Rondé Hollis Jefferson at a cheap price point. You're going to want to pick two guys from $3,500 to $4,000 because you get to drop one of those players based on the lowest score. You get to kick one of the players out of your lineup for free. So let's get back over to DraftKings. I'll show you the lineup optimizer, or the lineup generator, which is my favorite tool on Draft Dashboard. We'll set it within 500. Randomness low, unique players. We'll go 2 because I always seem to struggle a little bit on Fridays because we don't have enough unique players. So this is what it spits out on DraftKings for an optimization. Remember, again, guys, during this time, I ask you to click the thumbs up button, comment on this video, subscribe to this channel. Really helps us out on building our channel by doing all those things. Also, if you would like to try out the tools that I'm using at Draft Dashboard, you can do that by clicking the link in the description below. We've gone a little longer than we normally do. We usually keep our videos in the 12 to 13 minute range, but we're rocking out at almost 14 minutes today. Trying to get more informative tools and info for you guys to use. So you guys have all the information that you need to rock it out on both of these sites. So this is what it spits out on DraftKings for the position optimizer. I would love the shit out of Cantor if he gets any minutes. He didn't play last game. He screwed a lot of people, and a lot of people hate Damian Fizdale for it. So one thing to just keep in mind is if you get some kind of news that Cantor's going to play, fire him up. I might take a dart throw at him, but it's just he's so hard to know what you're going to get out of him. And then we'll do the same thing on FanDuel because I have yet to I have yet to mass generate a lineup on my website about FanDuel. So, in a mass generation lineup here, 20 lineups, 500, randomness, medium, unique players, 2, 40% maximum exposure. Again, maximum exposure is essentially just saying that, hey, you know what, we love Giannis Antetokounmpo today. We're not going to get more than 40% of him in our 20 lineups. Again, guys, please hit the thumbs up button, the subscribe button. Alrighty, so something like this on FanDuel. I'm not going to be playing Harden today. I think the Harden train has officially ended now that you have Chris Paul coming back. But yeah, so you can sort it by the projected points. So this is obviously the best lineup that it spits out. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson has quite a bit of value on FanDuel because he can, if he plays, he can put up a big projection. He's got a minimum salary, and you can drop that. Same with Shabazz Napier, very similar circumstance. Studs it likes over on FanDuel is it's starting to look like it's Towns, Vucevic, Giannis. You see Aaron Gordon popping up quite a bit here on the optimizer. Anyways, yeah, play around with it. Like what you like, get rid of what you don't. I play around on this site for about 20 minutes before I get on here. So have yourself a blessed Friday afternoon.